More than half of the countries in Africa fought wars post-independence period. It didn't make sense to me because when African countries began gaining independence between the 1950s to 1960s, there was a lot of optimism. The simple answer is not like it's not because Africans were fighting each other. I think it's much deeper than that. And with my supply chain brain, I started questioning why, what exactly caused this problem. And this is what I discovered. In 1884, in Europe, specifically Berlin, something happened. It is now historically called Berlin Conference of 1884. And then many European leaders gathered to talk about Africa. It's called the Scramble for Africa. And they had a meeting. There was literally no African representation. And there they drew the map of Africa and how they were going to take African territories specifically. If you're a Nigerian, you know that there's what we call the amalgamation of the Northern and the Southern Protectorate that happened in 1914. What they ignored was the fact that the Northern and the Southern parts of this country were independent states on their own, in their own right. They were independent colonies in their own right. And so because Britain wanted to control, just for the ease of that control, they merged the Northern and the Southern protectorates together in what we now know as Nigeria. Based on this, one of the reasons that I think caused the civil war is the fact that they left behind a politically fragile state. And secondly is the fact that because of the different ethnic groups, everybody needed to be equally represented. And this led to struggle over who controlled the new states. The state controlled access to land, resources, political power, and just a couple of things. That's why different regions had different leaders, just so that they can be evenly represented, but it still caused issue. And the third one, which did the greater harm, is the Cold War. So at the time, there was war between the US and the Soviet Union. Africa became a theater ground for them. Different countries were arming African countries with ammunition, not specifically African countries, different regions in different countries with ammunition, with weapons, with money. All of that basically made it worse. This was also the period that different natural resources were being discovered on the African continent, like oil, like minerals, like diamonds. And so this just added to the reason why the wars were being fought and made it increasingly difficult to end. Once conflict is embedded in a nation's politics or in a people's way of life, it's usually difficult to stop or curb, almost impossible even. And that was exactly what happened with Africa. It was as though it was transferred from one generation to the other. If we want to make progress, I'm of the opinion that people who do not learn from history are bound to repeat history. It's also important because to make progress or to go forward, it's important to know where you're coming from. And if we're going to make progress or go forward in Africa, it's important to know where we're coming from, what caused what, why what started, so that we don't repeat the same things. But like I said, this is my opinion. It's just what I think. What do you think?